Right, so now we've got to the part where we're gonna unbox the case. So let's crack on. Voila. To anyone that didn't get the new Xbox, no need. Just buy one of these gaming cases and you have something more powerful than Xbox. It's all good. So let's just have a quick look at this case. It is lovely size, really lovely size. All right, on top of it we have the power button. We have a USB-C, an audio jack, which I read somewhere that that's actually a splitter between headphones and microphone. And then we have a normal USB here. All right, now we have the tempered glass here. And this is what's really nice about it, is if we tip it on its side and have a look, underneath the case is where all of our ports are gonna go, right? And then you have the power here. So all the cables are just going to feed underneath here and go straight up. So it gives quite a really nice feel to the case. So I think the first thing we need to do is take off the sides. I can see there's a box inside there. Okay. So, there we go. So that's the glass panel is off. This is designed as a toolless design. So we've taken off the rear. So the glass and the rear are off. And then I should just be able to slide this cover off, right? So just take that off. Voila. There you go. So just spin this around. So you can see we have the case open. This is the PCI riser cable that I've heard so much about. I believe this is where the graphics card is going to go. Yes, it is. And we have this box here. The first thing we're going to want to do is take off these two screws here. Here we go. Right, so this is good. So what we have inside here, so this case has inbuilt CPU cooling. So here we have the CPU cooler, right? And then just move that out of the way for a second so you can see that will attach to the CPU. And then here is the PCI riser. We'll just move that out of the way, and we have a dummy motherboard here, right? So we'll just get rid of that. So now we're at the point where we can hopefully fit the motherboard. All right, let's see, will it slot in this way? It will indeed. Just have to watch the cables underneath. Oh, this is nice. Okay, cool. So that looks like it's in place. It just sits there. So we're gonna need to apply 4 screws there. So we shall do that. So tell me folks, am I doing a good job of seeming like I know what I'm doing? Because I'm absolutely winging it. I don't. I read a lot, I watch a lot of videos. That's the motherboard fitted. This is the PCI riser cable, and it just slots into this slot here. So we'll just take this off if I can. So that's come off. And okay, so that should just slot in like this. So apply a little bit of pressure down evenly on both sides, and that should click it into place. So that's the PCI riser cable done. Okay, so next we have a bunch of cables that we need to plug in. We'll just bring this cable around. And this is the first cable, which looks like it slots into this section right here. So just pop that down. Yep, and that's the first cable in. We'll worry about cable management shortly. Okay. So we actually have, I didn't even realize this. This is like a place to stash away cables. So if we just pull this out, amazing. Oh, this is cool. So you have a bunch of cables in here. Oh, this is dope. This is very nice. So let's just take these cable ties. I am really surprised. I like this. Oh, you know me, I'm a guy that hates cables. You know, cables, they really annoy me. So to see this type of nice, neat cable management, A star. But we also have this cable here, which let's just loosen the grip on the cable management. And that looks like it just goes straight down. Apologies if you can't see exactly what I'm doing. This is a really tight space. There we go. So that's that cable in. I don't even know what that cable is, but obviously it looks like that's where it's supposed to go. We have a bunch of other cables as well, which I need to figure out. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll go to the manual now. We've done well thus far to not use the manual, but there is no shame. So that cable we just fitted was the power cable for the motherboard. So we have HD audio, which looks like it goes into, what's that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a 4. Folks, I am stuck. This is where it gets really, really tricky. So I'm guessing we don't actually need all of this stuff here. So let's think about this. We have power to the CPU cooler. We have power to the motherboard itself. Cool. We are making progress. This is really hard to film, so you're probably not seeing all the detail here, but I've just plugged in the CPU into the motherboard. All right, folks, I'm not gonna lie, I'm struggling a little bit. Okay, cool. So after a little bit of messing around, I figured out the next step, which is connecting the audio connectors. So there's actually a small piece that we need to unscrew on top of the motherboard, and that reveals the audio connector. Okay, and through trying to figure this out, I've just found where the heatsink for the M2 SSD slot is. So if we just take this piece off here, we can actually seat the SSD on top rather than the other side, which I really did want to do, because the other side of the case is where the GPU is going to be, and that's going to generate a lot of heat. So I'm actually going to take the motherboard out now. This is all a learning process. So it's funny, through trying to figure out where the cables go, I uncovered the solution to an earlier problem, which is where can I put the SSD card where it has a heatsink, right? And I've now answered that question. I would say it wasn't very obvious, but you know, silly me, when you look at the actual cover that I've taken off, you can see it actually says M2 heatsink. So who's the Muppet? We have some work to do here, which is to take out this SSD drive, right? So we really want to put that behind the heatsink. So we want to remove this. Now we'll fit in the SSD card. That slots in. Amazing, nice and easy the second time round. So now we've done that, we need to pop our heatsink on. So we have this, there's something on here that is saying that we should remove the sticky cover. So let's do that. And we will just pop that straight down there. And there we go. That's that installed. And then next thing we want to do is just pop the screws back in, right? Amazing. To anyone who's experienced at building PCs, you probably cringed when I put the SSD card on the other side. I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I apologize. I wish I could have done this on a live stream so you could have given me real-time help. But hey ho, it wasn't meant to be. So now we've done that, we should be able to pop the motherboard back into the case, right? And that's all in place. Boom. Right. So next thing we'll do is we will seat the USB-C cable, which is this blue cable here. And we'll slot that right in. So that's USB-C cable done. We have the audio cable, which goes on the motherboard up here. It's really annoying to fit, because even though the holes line up, it's really hard to get it in there. Don't go making any funky jokes over my wording. And then this is the F panel cable, right? So we'll plug that one in. I can see where that goes. Hopefully it doesn't give me any problems. Okay, we'll pause recording again because I need to go to YouTube once again. Right, so I ran into trouble. I jumped on Reddit and someone pointed me to the fact that in my pack, I had this adapter here and that should solve my problems. So let's give it a go, right? So this adapter should plug into this HD audio cable, like so. There we go. And then the other side of this, which is smaller, should then plug into the audio interface, which is here on the motherboard. My hand is probably blocking the view. Once I've plugged it in, I will point it out. And there we go, it's in. So it's just here on the motherboard. I'll see if I can just lift this up and show it to the camera. You can see where that cable has just been plugged in. Cool. Whew. That was tough. Who would have thought that just plugging in one cable would have caused so much stress? But hey, there is this one cable that eludes me still, which is the front panel. And let me just, before I start messing around, have a look through the cables that I have in packs and just make sure that I haven't missed anything like I did the last time. I probably have. And yeah, looks like I have missed something. So here we have the solution to our problem, right? We have this cable here, which I can't seem to fit in. So I guess what we need to do is, let me see if I can tip this so that you can see. No, you're not gonna be able to see. It's in a really awkward place. So you're just gonna have to trust me on this, right? There we go, the front panel connector is in. That was tough. And then we have this final cable, which looks like it might be for the drives. So we have these two SSD drives. So here we go. These are the Samsung SSD drives. We will slide that in the bay underneath. That's the SSD sorted out. Leaves these two PCI cables, and I'm gonna say I don't need them because I can't see where they go in my motherboard and everything else is plugged in. So I think we are about ready to deal with the CPU cooler. So we have this CPU cooler here. So I think what we wanna do is slot these things just in these holes here. And we have these parts here, which we're just gonna start the screw at the bottom, and we'll do the same on the other side. Because apparently that's all the parts I'm gonna need to fit this CPU cooler to the CPU. These should just clip right in here. There we go, it's in. Whew. That was tough. Amazing. The CPU cooler is fitted. That's almost it. We just have the graphics card left to do. They never actually figured out what this cable was for. At this stage, I'm just kind of like, so let's go and grab the GPU. So this is the bad boy here. Really happy about this. So let's break the seal. Okay, so we have, that's the outer box off. We have this box here. And then when we open that, we have some documentation by the looks of it. And we'll take this cover off. Inside here, we have the GPU itself, which I'll pop here. And we have some cables as well, which we'll see if we need those. Let's take them out anyway and pop this over here. Aha. Okay, this is a good size. Pretty good size. You can just see that. So as you can see, as I was saying in my previous video, if you haven't seen that, go check it out. I'll leave the links in the description. You have the cooling for the GPU is just here, And the difference between this and the Founders Edition is the Founders Edition has the fan, but it does this cooling pass-through where it sucks the air in and blows it out the other end. As you can see on my GPU, it does not do that. Now the reason why I didn't want to do that is if I just turn the case, is my GPU is going to be mounted like that, which means that the pass-through will just blow air straight onto the back of my motherboard, which is not great news. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I opted for this graphics card here. So we're gonna see if we can fit this in. It is tight, I'm not gonna lie to you, it is a tight, almost too close to call. Just about fits. Right, now that's there, we'll turn it around. Let's see if gravity can do the rest, and yes it has. So that's it. I think the build might just be finished. Let's check it out. So we're almost done. Just need to pop this back plate in. And I think it goes like this, slots in there, and you pop that down. Just gonna see if I can do something with this cable. Cool. And I really hope this works.
That wraps up this video. Thanks for watching. Join me on the next one to find out how this build worked out, as well as me sharing some lessons learned from the process. All components detailed inside this video will be listed in the description below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to be notified for the next episode. And until then, peace out.